my crafty friends, it's Lynn from Humblebee Craft Studio here today to show you how you can use any surface. I'm using the beaded board surface to create different things, and I'm not talking a sign. So before we get started, let's talk about the tools we're using. So our supplies today, Magnolia Design Co's. This is actually a frame. You can see it's got two ways to hang that up, but that's not what we're going to be doing. I have no chalk paste. I have craft paper, and I have, I'd say it's probably almost 4 years. Yeah, it is 4 years ago that I went to JoAnn's, and they had this box, and I paid way too much money for it, but it's okay because it has been a lifesaver. Anyway, it was full of wood, all kinds of wood pieces, and including these little things. And so they almost look like they are corkscrew, but they are not. They're like little legs, just little wood things. We're going to be using those. We're going to be using antique wax, and of course, in this craftastrophe of craft studio today, I can't find it. We're going to use hot glue. We're going to use some wood glue. And we're going to use some Mod Podge. And of course we need to have our handy dandy little brush. So anyway, to get started with this, and I'm explaining to you what I did because I don't have my antique wax. So I looked at this and thought, what am I going to do? And I went through and I came up with a gazillion stencils, and then I thought, I don't want to do another hanging sign. And I thought, there's got to be a way that I can take a flat surface like this and create something else. So what I did was I left this as is. Decided not to touch it whatsoever. And then I thought, I wonder if I could make some kind of wood tray with this, and just some kind of riser. And that's when I remembered I had all my wood pieces. So I took these and I stained them with the antique wax. And what I like about it is because not only did it stain it, it waxed it, so I didn't have to do anything else with that. So then I thought, well, how am I going to put this on and have it stay? Because I have in the past made many risers, and they were a bust because when we pack for our shows, we have everything packed out in the back in the trailer. Well, in the summertime, yes, even in Minnesota, it is 81 degrees today, and I have about this much snow left in my yard. It's in a really shady spot, so we'll get there eventually. But for the most part, I have grass. It may be dead, but I have grass, and I can see it, and I'm happy. So anyway, I decided, well, actually, I learned. Did you know you learn from watching YouTube videos? It's just amazing. I learned that setting it up with hot glue so that it adheres to your surface right away, but also using wood glue. And you don't mix them together. They will unadhesive one another, if that's a word. We'll make it a word. And so basically what I did, this is not turned on. See, I'm touching my very hot glue gun. And so what I did was I just put hot glue on each side, and then I put my wood glue on, And I turn this over. And voila! I had legs. Did you see how fast I did that? Was that just amazing? Oh, yeah. And so I had legs on it. Now, because this is a hanger, I do need to go back in and take off my hanging pieces and set them aside for another project because hangers always come in handy. So you can see I stained them really dark. They're not quite as dark. I almost could have painted them a chocolate brown, but I decided I wasn't going to do that. So then once this set and I had my tray, and believe me, I let it set. In fact, you know, and honestly, it's been setting for about 2 weeks. Oh, I keep changing my mind about what I'm going to do. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a pattern stencil. No, I don't like that. No, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use rub-on transfers. Yeah, no, I don't like that idea. So I took my handy dandy scrap paper, and this is actually really fun paper. It's double-sided, which kind of bums me out because then I miss out on all this greatness in the back. But I went ahead and I cut it, wow, just like that, and I cut it to the size of my frame, and I made sure, I have to put my glasses on, I made sure that it fit. So now that I know that it fits, let's go. I have no fingernails. My fingernails have been very brittle lately. So I'm just going to blow that off a little bit and make sure. So I'm going to take my Mod Podge. You know, I grew up, everybody said Mod Podge. And you know what? I'm from Minnesota. We don't talk like everybody else. And if I say Mod Podge, it's because I'm a Minnesotan, and we all say Mod Podge. So it's Mod Podge. And I'm just using the matte. And what I'm going to do, oh, I thought I had opened this. Have I opened it? Oh, I have. And you know what? This is just going to become a sticky mess, so I'm just going to take that right off. And I'm going to put some Mod Podge on my surface, and I'm just going to go back and forth and get this on here. Don't you love watching me paint? This is exactly why I don't paint for you. I was watching a video last night, and I was watching somebody paint, and it just went on and on and on forever, and I thought, oh my goodness, can we just get to the final product? But, you know, if you've never painted things before, you're not quite sure how to put it on, you know, having somebody do it and show you how they did it. And I'm just going back and forth to make sure my entire surface is full of Mod Podge. And I'm actually putting on a pretty thick layer, probably thicker than I really need. But I just want to make sure this is not going to come up. And I'm finding I have a lot, so I'm actually going to pull some of this and get some of my excess off, or I will be sitting here painting for you for the next, I don't know, half an hour. Nobody wants that, right? I know I don't want to watch. I don't want to sit and watch somebody paint for even 10 minutes. It's like, okay, you painted, get to the point. I know. I'm an impatient crafter. I like to see things done. And oftentimes that's, you know, to my not so much a benefit, because I get in a hurry and then I make a mess. And yeah, just call me the messy crafter. Although I've seen some that are messier than me, and so it makes me feel good to know I'm not the only messy crafter out there. So I've got this on, and I'm going to take my piece of paper here, and I'm just going to make sure that I have that all lined up. and I'm going to press it in there. And then what I'm doing is I'm just going over to make sure that it is flat, that it's in the area that I want it to be, and then I have any air bubbles out of there. So what I like about this is it gives us kind of a more of a wood look to it. And I thought, you know what, I like that wood look on my tray, because it doesn't matter then what season it is. I mean, if I had put flowers and things on here, that would have really defined it as fall flowers or spring flowers or Christmas flowers or summer flowers. And I didn't want to do that. I am going to take, this is actually a little squeegee thing that goes with rub-on transfers, and I'm just going to go across this. You see how easy peasy this is? And really, I measured. I know, don't faint. I measured. And I did pretty well. So I'm very proud of myself for measuring. Okay, this feels super flat. So now what I will do is I will set that aside and allow it to dry thoroughly. Then what I'll do is I will go back over the top of this with Mod Podge again. Now normally I would go out and I would clear coat, let it dry, clear coat the other side, but I don't have to do that. I have my Mod Podge under here drying. This is already finished because I had clear coated it. I was going to do something else with it, and I clear coated it, and now I'm thinking, well, I don't know, why did I do that? And then again, I said I used the antique wax. All I need to do for this is take my backings off, and I was a good wife. Yes, I was. I returned Kirk's little, he's got a little micro tool set, and now I'm going to go steal it back from him so I can take those off. But that's it. And so we just took a frame that just looked like this. We're not going to hang it on the wall because we have legs, but we have a nice tray that we can decorate. And it was that easy. Did you see how fast we got that done? Okay, now, behind the scenes, okay? So it took me about 5 minutes to get my wax on here and to glue them on. Left it alone at that point. But what I did do is I took my second frame here, and my second frame is what I used to measure. And so I measured my length and my width, and I drew that out on my paper and cut it out, set it aside. So really, when you look at the time that I put it together here, and then you add maybe that 10 minutes, it was an easy project, done, done, done. You will find this at Erickson Farmstead. This is one of the pieces I'm bringing to our show in a couple of weeks, and I think it just makes a great tray. So until next time, happy crafting. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're not following me, hit that follow button. Set your notifications so you always know when I'm going live. I've been going live earlier because that's when my sunlight is the best right now. And so as we continue to move, you'll see that I'll be able to get later and later because I will have that great sun. I do have a light, but I really like the sunshine. And so I'm going to let this dry, come back and finish the Mod Podge on the top. Done. I promise you there'll be a next time. I'll be back, and you'll just have to wait to see what I'm going to craft. Until then, my friends, happy crafting.